Hello there, and welcome back to another video in the series 4 Looks 1 Color Family. Today's featured color is purple. When I asked you on my last video which one you wanted to see next, purple came out on top with reds and burgundies coming up next. So that will be the color family I am working on for the next video like this. But if you've not seen these before, I use 4 different palettes and 4 varying tones and depths of color in that color family. So today we'll have everything from lavender to red plum to blue purple to what I've got going on here. Now, I also do include the cheek and lip combination for each one, and I link all of the products that I use in the description box below this video. As always, if you have a special request for the next one, after the reds and burgundies, let me know what color you want to see me address next. And now without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into look number 1. For this first look, I'm using the Milani eyeshadow primer and a little bit of the e.l.f. putty primer just to give a little coverage on the lid. For my palette, for this look, I'm using the Balm Cosmetics Alternative Rock Volume 1 Face Palette. And you'll see there it says Pink Fluorite, and just everything about this palette is so cute. They are so detailed with their packaging, and I just think it's so fun. So there are 6 eyeshadows at the top, and then the 3 bottom pans can be used on the face or the eyes. So we're going to start off with that cream shade. It's called Naughty or Nice, and I'm using the E50, just putting this below the brow up to the top of the crease. And then in the crease, I'm going to use the Morphe M504 and a little bit of the bronzer / shadow shade. And I'm putting this just really through the crease and kind of just up towards the brow bone, just kind of giving us something to blend the rest of the shades into. Now this shimmery plum shade, I won't even tell you the name of it just because it's a play on words, but I'm using the Sigma E57 firm shader brush, and I'm going to pack this shadow. I'm not going quite to the very outer corner, but close to it. And then I am staying below the crease, and I'm just going to take my time building this up. It does have quite a bit of shimmer in it, but it's a beautiful kind of reddish plum shade. And you'll see I'm taking it kind of at an angle as it comes across the center of the lid. Then I'm going to take more of that on my brush and spritz the brush with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and this is just going to really deepen the shade and make it look a lot more metallic. So now you can see more of that true color coming through. And don't worry, we are going to blend this out, but first we're going to add this beautiful pinky coppery shade. It's called Copper Attitude. Again, I spritzed my brush with the setting spray, and I'm applying this from almost the inner corner and then overlapping that purple shade. And it's just a beautiful, again, kind of peachy pink shade with a little bit of gold shimmer. It's so pretty. But then I'm going to take a little bit of it on my finger and layer it on top, and this just brings back a little bit more of the shimmer that's in the shade. So we have that metallic base and then add some shimmer. And then I'm going to do the same thing with that deep plum shade. Just brush that on with my finger, kind of where those 2 shades meet. And then I'm going to take this smaller, flatter shader brush. This is the E27. It's a detail blending brush. I'm using a combination of the bronzer and the blush shade, and I'm taking this now through the crease. I didn't want to disturb the shimmer shades we have on the lid, so that's why I'm taking this kind of slimmer brush, but I wanted to work this in the crease and above. So it's just going to kind of help everything look blended, but we don't have to take those shimmer shades through the crease because the shimmer shades can kind of highlight texture. All right, now for eyeliner on the lower lash line, I'm taking the Urban Decay Rockstar liner, and this is a deep shimmery purple. And as I get to the outer corner, I'm going kind of up at an angle towards the brow. Then I'm going to take the Morphe M165, and I'm going to take a little bit of the deep, dark, kind of gray, purpley gray. It's called All or Nothing. And I'm just pressing that into the lower lash line, and then again angling it up towards the brow. And then I'm going to take this up along the upper lash line. And this is going to be our liner on the upper lashes here. So just pressing that in and pulling it back towards the center of the upper lid. And it's just going to give us kind of that really lifted look there in the outer corner. And so just taking my time, layering that, pressing it into the lashes. Again, this is going to be our liner up here, so just want to make sure it's deep and dark. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of the shimmery plum and just press that into that outer corner. So we lost a little bit of that as we were blending, so I just wanted to make sure we have a nice bit of that plum shade. And then I'm going to take the E27 and a combination of All or Nothing and the blush, the pink blush shade. And so I'm just combining those two to kind of blend that very outer corner, and then I'm going to go in with just All or Nothing and just soften that edge of that liner where it meets the shimmery plum shade in the outer corner there. Then I'll take the M504 one last time through the top, just make sure everything is nice and softly blended. Applied this trio of mascaras, which I will list in the description box below. And now we're going to go in. I used the bronzer shade on my face as my bronzer. And now as you see that blush shade, we've got a little bit of that gray eyeshadow in there. So make sure you clean that off first. And then I'm taking the Morphe E4 brush and I'm doing a combination of the pink and the bronzer shade for my blush today, and it just creates such a pretty combination and really ties in the colors we have in the crease on the eyes. So I love how this is coming together. It's definitely more of the fall purpley combination. And then as far as highlighter, now this highlighter is too cool toned for the look I was going for. So I'm going to use another product by The Balm. This is Mary Luminizer. You know, it's one of my favorites. I'm going to use this on the inner corner to highlight the eyes. So applying first with my finger, and this is super intense. Then I'm going to go in with the E30 from Sigma and just kind of further blend that onto the lid and a little bit more up into the inner corner there. And then I'm going to also use this as my highlight on the face. So using the MAC 140 fan brush, putting that on the tops of the cheeks, the bridge of the nose, and the Cupid's bow. And then around the edge of the lips, I did the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. For my lip liner today, I'm using the Urban Decay Liar lip liner, and this is a beautiful kind of mid-tone cool pink color. I love it. It's definitely still on the nude side, so it really goes with a lot of different colors. And then for my lipstick, I am using Plum Dandy by MAC. Such a pretty shade. This is one of my favorites going into fall and winter. And then I wanted to take inspiration from the lid. I'm adding a little bit of the Dose of Colors lip gloss in Jazzy. And then, of course, I fixed my hair, and here is our finished look. So we have this just really nice, beautiful fall plum and copper eye look with a berry lip. So now we are ready for look number 2. So I used the Morphe eyelid primer today, and I'm using the Pumpkin Spice palette. This is a look you were all begging me to do, and this is one with the purples in this palette. So this is going to be a cooler purple look. So we are going to start off though with the matte cream shade. It's called Whipped Cream on the E50, just under the brow. And then we are going to take the Morphe M504, and I'm going to start off with a little bit of a la mode. This is more of the pinky matte pink shade, and I just wanted to have a little bit of this so that the next shade didn't overpower the look or make it look too dark right away. So just worked that through the crease, and then I'm going in now with Love You a Latte, working that in the outer corner and then through the crease. And I'm not worrying about getting this on the lid. I'm just kind of really blowing this color out. So just working that all through the crease. I just want a really nice soft look there. And now I'm going to do a combination of Love You a Latte and Spice of Life with the BK Beauty 206, and I loved this combination. I felt like Spice of Life was just a little bit too blue for me, and so by mixing it with a little bit of that plum shade, oh my goodness, I loved this. In fact, I could have even stopped right here and not done a lid shade, but of course I wanted to use more colors in the palette for you. So I'm going to use a little bit of Want a Piece of Me. This is the cool tone, like a silvery purple shimmer, and this definitely goes better with your finger or with a wet brush. So first I'm tapping this all over the lid. I'm not going quite to the inner corner, but close. Then I'm going to top it with a little bit of PSL and Chill, and I'm using this more in the kind of in the center towards the outer corner. And then I'm going to take the Sigma E60 and a little bit of the shade Crisp, wet my brush with the setting spray, and top those two shades with that. And it just comes up with this really pretty pinky purpley silvery shade. You know me, I like to create my own. So then I just went back with a little bit of Want a Piece of Me and PSN Chill and just kind of topped that and just kind of layered those until I got the kind of right amount of shimmer and color that I wanted. Then went back with a little bit of just Spice of Life in the outer corner just to deepen it up a little bit more, so you can see how cool tone that is. And then I added a little bit of Love You a Latte on the outer part of the corner and then all the way through the crease, just to make sure everything's blended. And then one more time with PSN Chill, kind of just to make sure everything looks like it flows into the next color. For my eyeliner today, I'm using the shade Empire from Urban Decay. I hope this is still available. It's a matte blue purple color. So it's not blue, it's not real purpley, but just kind of the perfect in between. It's almost like if you took Spice of Life and put it in an eyeliner, it would make this color. So I'm just doing a thin line from halfway across to the outer corner. And then I'm using the Morphe M165 and a little bit of Spice of Life, and I'm just going over that liner just to soften the edge a little bit. On the lower lash line, I have fallen in love with the shade. It's called Mushroom, and it is a taupey gray color, and I just find it works so well with so many different looks. So I'm just smudging that about halfway across on the lower lash line into my lashes. And then I'm taking the Morphe M165 and a little bit of Love You a Latte and just using that to further soften that liner and add just a little hint of plum down here. And then for my cheeks, I'm using the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Blush in Beige for Days. This is very nude and neutral, but I knew the top that I was going to wear, this was going to look perfect. So I didn't want anything to compete with the eyes. This is tying in the crease color from our eye look today and really letting the purple kind of be all by itself and just be the standout. For my highlighter, I'm using the Fenty Beauty highlighter, and I'm just using that one side, which I think is Mean Money, and I'm using the MAC 140 fan brush to apply that to the tops of the cheeks and the bridge of the nose and the Cupid's bow, all the usual spots that I like to highlight. For the inner corner, I am actually just going to go in with whipped cream, and so we're doing a matte inner corner highlight. I wanted to brighten it, but I didn't want it to compete at all with the beautiful purples that we have going on our lid. Then for our lips, I went around the edge with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. Of course, I have already applied mascara. For my lip liner today, I am using the L'Oreal lip liner in Matte It, and this is a pretty nude lip liner with just a hint of some beige. And then for my lipstick, I'm using the Lancome L'Absolute Rouge in number 245. This is a kind of cool bronzy gold color. It's really pretty, and it just really tied in the top that I was wearing. So we have those cool purples on the lid, but then tied in with those neutral nudes and bronzes. I just love this. Again, very fall inspired. For look number 3, I went back to the Milani eyeshadow primer, but mixed it with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot because I definitely wanted to neutralize the eyelids because we're going in with some bright purples. This is the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette, so you can't do a purple themed video without doing that. So, but that palette doesn't have a brow bone highlight shade. So I'm going back to the Huda Beauty Nude Light palette and using the cream shade in there and then a little bit of that kind of camel peach color just to dust over it so it wasn't quite so bright. Now going into the Amethyst Obsessions palette and the Morphe M504, I am taking now that bottom matte pink shade. These don't really have names, so I'll just refer to their kind of color and the finish of them. So using that just softly, I mean ever so lightly through the crease. These are so pigmented. And now going to the top right corner, this is a matte kind of plum shade, and again using real light pressure and just putting this all through the crease and the outer corner. I did layer this a couple of times and just wanting to make sure I have a really nice blend there because I'm going to be using mostly shimmers on the lid today. And so then I'm going down to the BK Beauty 206 and more of that matte plum shade. And now I'm taking this a little bit lower. So through the crease, in the outer corner, and a little bit onto the lid because again, I want to have a nice kind of blend there. All right, now we're going in with this super scary fuchsia shimmer. It has a little bit of like a blue shift to it. So I am just putting this, it's going to be hard to describe, but you can look and just see where I'm placing it. It's not quite to the center point and it's not quite to the inner corner, just on that inner part. I am staying below the crease, and now I'm going to go in with this blue shimmer purple, and I'm going to kind of put this where that fuchsia color ends and then going towards the outer corner, but not quite all the way to the outer corner. And this is one of those looks that's going to look really, really strange and scary until we get our mascara on, so bear with me. All right, now I'm going to go in with that center shade, and you can see this has a lot of shimmer and not quite as much of a base color, but the shimmer has a blue and purple shimmer shift. So depending on how the light hits it, picks up more blue or more purple. And so I put that just right in the center, and that kind of made those other two colors blend together. And then I'm going in with the shimmer pink shade on the inner corner here, and I felt like that just really tied that look together and just made it super fun. All right, now I'm taking the BK Beauty 207. This is just a pencil brush, and I'm going in with the darkest matte shade in the palette. I'm using this just right in the outer corner just to kind of bring all of those shades together right at the outer edge, add a little bit of depth, and then I'm going to go in with the 206 and go back to that kind of mid-tone matte plum shade and use this just to blend that deeper shade out, go through the crease, and just make sure everything looks blended. For the lower lash line, I'm using the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Versatile Violet. This is such a bright and fun purpley shade. If you love purples, this is your pencil. It's matte, but it just is so vibrant. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that dark plum matte shade on. This is the Luxe flat definer brush. You can use the Morphe M432. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that shimmery fuchsia shade on kind of the middle portion of the lower lash line. Now for my upper lashes, I'm using a little bit of the KVD Tattoo liquid liner in black, and I am just doing this kind of lifted outer wing liner. So I'm not taking it all the way to the center of the upper lashes like I usually do. I'm just really doing kind of the outer quarter of the upper lid. Now I fixed my hair in this kind of crazy curly wavy look, and now for our cheeks I'm going to go into the Too Faced Sugar and Peach palette, and I'm going to use a combination of the peach and that kind of glowy pink blush shade, and I was taking inspiration from the dress I was wearing. My dress was very colorful. It had purples and corals and pinks and yellows, and I just love the combination of coral and bright purple together. So that's what I did today. I'm also going to take the highlight shade from that palette as my highlighter today. So again, putting that on the tops of the cheeks, the bridge of the nose, the Cupid's bow. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of that shimmer shade on the inner corner of the eyes. So applying first with my finger. And then I'm going to take the Sigma E30 and use that just to blend out that shade a little bit further. So even though we've got this bright purpley crazy look on the eyes, we're keeping the cheeks and the lips a little more neutral. I did go around the edge here with the MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. And then I decided to go with kind of a peachy nude on the lips. So I'm using the NYX Slim Lip Pencil in Peekaboo Neutral. And this is a peachy nude color. I love this. This is one of my favorites to wear when I want kind of more of a peachy leaning nude. And then for my lip gloss today, I chose the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the shade Pearl. And this is so fun. It has a lot of different shifts depending on how the light hits it, but it shifts pink and peach. And here's our finished look. So the eyes are kind of this bright, crazy purple, but I just think by using that peach on the cheeks and the lips, I think it all works together. And hey, this was a really fun look for this day. All right, starting off our fourth and final look, I used the Morphe Eyelid Primer again. And now for our palette, I used the Huda New Nude palette, one of my favorites. If you don't have this one, you can use the Nude Light palette. There are some similar shades in there. But going into this, I'm going to start off with the cream shade in here. It's called Bear and the E50 from Sigma. Putting this just under the brow bone and to the top of the crease. And then I'm going to use just a touch of that peach shade. It's called Play, just again because I didn't want that cream shade to be too overpowering. All right, now this is going to be super easy, I promise. One brush. We're using the shade Lace and the BK Beauty 206. And I'm going to layer this several times, but I'm just taking my time because I wanted this to be a soft wash of lilac all over the lid, through the crease, and just blown out up into the brow bone highlight color. I saw Jessica Simpson one time do a holiday show, and she had this beautiful eye look that I wanted to recreate at some point, and here it is. So it just on her looked like this beautiful kind of wash of lilac with some shimmery gold on the lid. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to combine the two shimmer shades, which are Crave and Daydream. I'm going to start off with Crave, and I'm starting off with the brush. This really just gives you a tiny little hint of shimmer on the lid, and you could stop there if you wanted, but I layered both of those shades first. Then I went in with my finger and did a combination of those two. So I went in first with Crave and then with Daydream and just tapped them over, kind of layering them until I got the amount of shimmer that I wanted. And it was just this really soft shimmer as the light caught it, but I just loved it. Then I took the BK Beauty brush and just kind of blended it all together. Now for the liner on the lower lash line, I'm going back to that mushroom shade because I feel like this kind of helped the look, helped keep my eyes from looking like I was sick. So I did the mushroom liner into the lashes. So a little bit on the waterline and then a little bit below, and just kind of really smudged that out with my finger. Then I went in with the Morphe M165 and a little bit of that shade Lace. And I just pressed this over the top of that mushroom shade right into the roots of the lashes. And I really felt like this just kind of really helped tie that together. And now what I did on the one side is I used this Charlotte Tilbury liner in Mesmerizing Maroon. This is the matte plum shade. And I'm using plum in my upper rim. So I know this is kind of scary, but just take your time, go slow, and I really preferred the plum as opposed to black. You could use black, but I just wanted this look to be soft. So I put this all along the upper waterline there and just pressed it into the roots of my lashes. And then I went on the outer kind of quarter of my upper lash line and I put a little bit of that matte plum liner there. And this liner is a little bit drier in formula than I usually prefer, but it does set and stay. So then I took this tiny little angled brush from BK Beauty and I used a little bit of that liner just to pull out just the tiniest little hint of a wing, just because I wanted the eyes on the outer corner to look a little bit lifted. So there's just that tiny little hint of a wing there. And then I went in with a combination of Tease and Love Bite on the Morphe M165 just to kind of further kind of blend out that line there and just make it a little bit kind of more even and define that outer lash line of the upper lash line there just a little bit. After applying mascara, I'm going to go in first with the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance highlight shade. This is Highlight 01 because I did not want the inner corner to be too shimmery because we kept the shimmer on the lid down to a minimum. So I'm using this as my inner corner highlight. And then I'm also going to go right to the lips before adding blush. So I used the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. Now I'm going to use the NYX Slim Lip Pencil in Mauve. And this has been a favorite for years. I've probably purchased about 4 of these pencils. If I want a cool nude pink lip look, this is usually the one I start with. So then for my lipstick, another favorite, I am down to the nub on this. This is MAC's Fabby lipstick. And again, when I want a cool shimmery pink, that's what I do. And I'm topping it with Oyster Girl from MAC. And this is just a mini size, but again, I've gone through a couple of these. And now we can address the cheeks. I didn't want to go too bright, so I'm using the Thrive Cosmetics Strobing Blush in Rosy. And this is going to be my blush and highlight color on the face. So using the BK Beauty 104 brush. And this is just the perfect amount of pink just to bring a little life to the cheeks, but I didn't want to compete with that soft lavender shade we have on the eyes. And here is our finished look. So I love this. I think this is really soft and feminine. This could go winter, spring, summer, fall, any time of the year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.